University Life 2018. Class clowns, vile rants, fluffy dogs, and cotton wool. The nutty professor, or as I like to call her, the Nutjob SJW professor. What's going on, guys? It's your boy Sydney here. You know what time it is. It is story time here. And I have got this juicy article here for you that I saw in the Telegraph a few days ago when I was having a bit of a break. Check this out. University students are being flippantly taught how to cover their tracks if contemplating suicide or murder, while a fluffy poodle is taken to other classes to give lessons on, you guessed it, white privilege. In lectures at several universities across Sydney, the Daily, not me, Sydney the city, the Daily Telegraph can reveal students are subjected to a weird mix of absurdly dark humour combined with excessive political correctness. Here's some dark humour. Feminism. In front of disinterested and bemused students, the most shocking example was modern media lecturer Fiona Martin, right? So this is Fiona Martin here. She's a modern media lecturer at university, and she recently described the late legendary artist Bill Leak as vile and added, "May he not rest in peace." Martin, wait for it, a former ABC reporter. There it is. There's where the bullshit's coming from. Also advised, apparently tongue-in-cheek, which search engines couldn't be traced if you're planning to commit suicide or murder one of your lecturers. You can't make this shit up, guys. I really recommend looking at them, she said. Inexplicably, other students are also spared the offense of referencing the correct name for male and female genitals and told to call them hot dog or joystick and foo-foo instead. Yeah. And then, here we go. We got this spastic here. All right. Diversity lecturer, Professor Jane Park brings her dog Jay to class where a student approaches to pat it. All right. Oh, here we go. Right and below. Slides from the sex consent course, matters, and a safe space sign. So here's the sex consent course, and I'll get to that in a moment. But this is the women's room. Please respect that this area is an autonomous, welcoming, and safe space for all those who identify as or who have lived experience as a woman. And foo-foo for JJ, hot dog, joystick, retard. Right? See all these correlations? Hang on. Now, universities, once bastions of free speech and spirited inquiry, now treat students like preschool toddlers. Interesting. Well, maybe that's why these university students are behaving like school children and toddlers. Teaching them to avoid embarrassing words in sex education, pat dogs to understand racism, and keep quiet in classes if they are shy. Students learning about the importance of clear communication in compulsory courses on consenting sex have been advised to use words such as joystick and vajayjay in place of anatomically correct terms such as penis and vagina. Other classes have been told that diversity is not about hating men and white people, quote unquote hating men and white people, while one lecturer brought a white dog in her handbag to talk about white privilege. In another, students on culture and gender in movies were told they didn't need to speak up in tutorials if they feel shy. Even though in-class discussion counts for 10% of their damn grades. Fuck's sake. At the other end of the scale, a uni lecturer flippantly advised students how to disguise their internet search history, and as I mentioned before, after recent revelations about changes to sexual consent policies and other rules and traditions triggered debate, the Daily Telegraph visited, wait for it, top government-funded universities in Sydney for a first-hand look at campus life and found a culture of government-funded cotton wool and political correctness. At the University of Sydney, which is government funded, and the University of Technology Sydney, which is government funded, Students must get a perfect score on a mandatory online test to understand consent to sex that advises them to use words like joystick, hot dog, and vajayjay instead of real words for genitalia. The Consent Matters courses features slides of pickup scenarios and voiceovers telling students that the use of normal language makes it easier to discuss sex and consent. No, I'm sorry. Referring to a vagina as a vajayjay and referring to a penis as a hot dog does not make talking about sex more normal. It doesn't make it less awkward to discuss. It makes it sound fucking retarded. And people won't want to talk about it if you use those particular terms. I have renamed them things. It is a lot easier to talk about them when they have normal, less intimidating names, the voiceover says. At a University of Sydney lecture on diversity, here we go, the good old diversity lectures. Professor Park entered the hall filled with 150 students carrying the small white dog named Jay, as we showed you before. She teaches a course identifying diversity as one of the most important issues in contemporary society and examines race, ethnicity, gender, class, sexuality, and disability. So basically intersectional feminism. It is not just about let's hate all men and white people. That can be fun for like 5 seconds and then it gets boring. Yeah, it gets retarded after about half a second. Also, my dog is white. It is about white dog privilege. The idea of divide and conquer, which brought us here. Colonialism, capitalism, patriarchy. Our identity and our value is defined by our commodification as being valuable in a capitalist society that has to become something else, that has to become definable. Really? Spastic? Professor Park said she takes her dog to a lot of lectures and tutorials. When the class took a break, students patted the dog. Which fell asleep under a large desk at the front of the room. The undergrad course is compulsory for students who want to minor in diversity. In another Sydney uni class called Screen Cultures and Gender, no surprise in wondering why the political correctness madness has gone flying through all of Hollywood right now. There we go. Another Sydney uni class called Screen Cultures and Gender, Film to Apps. Professor Catherine Driscoll, sounds like another feminist, told students they don't have to utter a word during weekly tutorial discussions if they do not feel confident or are shy. Yeah, she's a feminist. Instead, they can submit their thoughts to the course's online discussion board after class. You might just not be someone who feels very confident, especially in the beginning of your course, with volunteering your ideas. Though afterwards you might think they were as good as everyone else's, she said. Well, of course everyone thinks their ideas are as good as anyone else's, until they're tested against everyone else's and they realize they're an idiot if they have a bad idea. And then they come up with new ideas that are hopefully better and not as stupid. That's the whole idea and concept and thought behind evolving and thinking as a person. Clearly these people didn't get the memo. But the university promises prospective employers, here we go, this is the good bit. The university promises prospective employers that all its graduates' outcomes confidently and coherently communicate orally and in writing to a professional standard in major fields of study. No, that is not a valid guarantee because you are churning out retards by the way that you treat them, what you're teaching them, right? As Tony V said, it's called learning and gaining knowledge. That's right. And you have to be wrong sometimes to get better and get more intelligent. A University of Sydney spokesman said the uni was committed to academic freedom and free speech. Spokesman, not spokeswoman? Sounds like a soy boy to me. As a university, we encourage freedom of expression and robust debate of a wide range of issues, conducted with mutual respect. Yeah, mutual respect for anyone except straight white males. and anyone on the right of politics or even at the center that doesn't agree with your left-wing nutjob bullshit. Rival Australian Catholic University lecturer and education commentator Kevin Donnelly said there is now no room for alternative opinions. I argue, and he quotes, I argue, universities are no longer places of open, rigorous debate where people can engage in a dialogue, a conversation where they're confident to put a point of view and argue in terms of the evidence, he said. It is part of the PC movement where we have safe spaces, victimhood, and students are no longer able to have robust debate because everybody is part of some victim group. Damn straight they are. And this is why we haven't seen all these anti-fascist spastics. We're seeing all these morons protesting against shit they don't even know that they're protesting against. I mean, a lot of these gender diversity and sexuality studies lecturers in the US, at least that I know of, are actually giving people, they're giving people credit for protesting against anything rational that doesn't meet the leftist idea, right? These people are, some of these professors are actually telling their students that they have to actually protest as part of their course credits. So these professors are pushing their own agenda onto their students, and I think it's just disgusting. House of Invertebrates says, having a bad idea doesn't make you an idiot. Having a bad idea and trying to push that bad idea knowing it doesn't work makes you an idiot. I have bad ideas, I just learn from them. That is exactly right, House of Invertebrates. I totally agree with you. And hopefully that's, you know, that was essentially what I was trying to convey in this. You know, I know I get a little bit passionate and sometimes I may say things in a way where they're not quite coming across how I want to convey them, but hopefully that's what you got from it, because House of Invertebrates just nailed what I was trying to say exactly. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna let you guys go. It's good to see you all. Thanks for jumping in. Please smash that thumbs up, hit the subscribe button below if you haven't already, hit the bell next to it if you want to get videos like this on a daily basis. Most of the time I was off the last couple of days for a break, but I'm back and I've got some juicy topics that I'm going to be sharing with you over the next couple of days. Thanks for the kudos on the shirt. It's one of my old ones, but it is a good shirt. And I will be back tomorrow with a new video, guys. Appreciate you all for tuning in. Peace.